welcome to day 3 of the 7-day yoga challenge. Yesterday's class was all about building strength. So we did some difficult transitions, we built some heat, and we worked our way up into some strong poses. Today's class theme is all about knowing your worth, and it's something that I personally struggled with when I first started practicing yoga. I often found myself comparing my yoga practice and the poses I was in with the person on the mat next to me, especially in sort of the yoga studio where you're surrounded by yogis of all levels. And I used to judge my value and my worth on whether or not the pose I was doing looked like what I thought it was supposed to look like. And it took me so long to kind of embrace that everybody is different and everyone is different. And because of that, every yoga practice and every yoga pose should be different. And for context here, I'm 5'0", so I'm really small, and it makes some poses just almost impossible for me, but then other poses come more naturally. And I think today in your yoga practice, I really kind of want you to embrace that and just know that you're different and you're unique and you are you. So you are worthy, whether or not your pose looks like what you think it's supposed to look like. So yeah, when you're listening to my cues today, I want you to embrace the cues that I give you into the pose, but just know that you might need adjustments that suit your body more. Your pose might look different to what my pose looks like because we're all different. And yeah, so that's your little challenge for today. So just coming to a comfortable seat, closing your eyes down, then just letting your hands rest in your lap or on your thighs. Just feeling that one line of energy coming up through your sit bones, through your spine, up through your neck and out the crown of your head. Let's just start today's practice with one really deep inhale through the nose. And open the mouth and sigh it out. And we're going to work on our Ujjayi breath today. So I'm still going to count you into the breath, but this time instead of exhaling through the mouth, I want you to exhale through the nose with the mouth closed. And I want you to imagine as you're doing the exhale that you're almost like fogging up a glass window. It's like a slight constriction in the back of the throat, and I'll demonstrate it now for you and then we'll get into it. So we're just going to do that to the count of 4, and I'll count you in. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Just keep breathing like this, practicing that Ujjayi breath. I'm just going to read you today's words. These are by Jessica Rachel Sharp, and she's one of my favorites. Your worth is not measured by likes and followers, by whether they do or do not message you back, by your job title and productivity, your weight or your size. You are so much more than numbers and titles on a piece of paper, more than targets and reaching impossible goals. You are the life you live day in and day out, the courage you show the world and the strength you channel when you are feeling your weakest. You are the compassion and kindness that lives in your bones, and the love you give out and the love you show yourself. You are the memories you make for you and for others. You are the knowledge that your bad days do not define your soul, and life will keep on moving whatever it throws at you. You are you, and there is no measure for a delightful thing like that. And then just as you let those words sink in, bring your hands together in front of your heart and just take this moment to set an intention for this practice. Just a few words or a little mantra to guide you through the next 30 minutes. And if you want me to offer you a mantra, I offer you, I am worthy. So if at any time during today's class you find yourself judging the pose or judging yourself or judging your worth, I want you to come back to those 3 words. And gently blinking the eyes open. I'm going to take some little seated cat-cows here. So we're going to interlace the hands and bring the palms out facing forward. So on the exhale, we're going to round the spine, tuck the chin, reaching the hands out in front of us. And on the inhale, we're going to arch the spine, taking the hands to the sky. Maybe take the gaze up. Exhale, round, cat pose. And then inhale, arch. One more round like that. Exhale, round. And then inhale, arch. Now we're just going to take that side to side. So we're going to exhale over to the right, then inhale, coming back through center. Exhale over to the left, and then inhale, coming back through center. One more round. Exhale over to the right. Inhale, coming back through center. And exhale over to the left. And then inhale, coming back through center. Just releasing your hands down and making your way into a wide leg child's pose here. So toes together, knees wide, hips are sinking back on the heels. Walking the hands forward, palms are down, forehead to the mat. Just letting your body sink down into the ground. And just know that at any time during today's class, you can come to this wide-legged child's pose to rest. There is no judgment on your mat. You are worthy. You do deserve to be here. And then inhale, making your way up to tabletop, hands under your shoulders, knees are under the wrists. And just take some regular cat-cows here. So inhale, arch the spine, looking up. Then exhale, round the spine, pushing the ground away, chin to chest. Inhale, arch the spine, looking up. Then exhale, round the spine, pushing the ground away. Last one. Inhale, arch the spine, looking up. Then exhale, round the spine, pushing the ground away. And coming back through neutral tabletop, I want you to inhale the right arm high to the sky. Then exhale, thread it underneath the left. Bring that right shoulder down onto the ground. You might walk that left hand out to the top of your mat, coming up onto little spidey fingers. And really use that left hand to push it down so you can roll into that right shoulder. And gently walking that left hand in underneath your shoulder. Inhaling the right arm to the sky for a gentle counter twist. And exhale, placing it down on the ground. Inhale, left arm up. And exhale, threading it underneath the right, rolling onto that left shoulder. Maybe walking that right hand out, coming up onto the tips of your fingers. Just using that right hand to roll into your left shoulder more. And walking that hand back underneath your shoulder. Inhaling that left arm to the sky for a gentle counter twist, then placing it back down on the mat. We're going to ground down through our hands. Make sure our pointer fingers are facing forward. So the eyes of our elbows are facing forward. We're going to tuck the toes under. On the inhale, we're going to lift the knees up. And on the exhale, we're going to shift up and back, downward facing dog. So just take any adjustments here that your body needs. Sometimes I like to walk my hands out a little bit more from my tabletop, but everybody is different and everyone is unique. Think of wrapping your triceps towards one another so the eyes of your elbows really face forward. Your hands are slightly turned out so the pointer fingers are facing forward. And your heels should disappear out the back of your feet. And to do that, you might need to rotate your knees and your inner thighs towards one another. Bend through one knee and then the other if you need to walk out your dog and just warm up into this pose. And then just beginning to find stillness on your mat. You're going to inhale forward to plank pose, top of a push-up. Then exhale back, downward facing dog. And again, inhale forward, plank pose, top of a push-up. Then exhale back, downward facing dog. Last one here. Inhale forward, plank pose, top of a push-up. And then on the exhale, lowering the knees to the ground, bending through the elbows and coming down onto your belly. Make sure you're grounding down through the tops of your feet. Your hands are underneath your shoulders here. Elbows are wrapped back and in. I'm just going to inhale up, baby cobra, chest, head and neck off the ground. And exhale, lowering back down. Inhale up, baby cobra. And exhale, lowering back down. Last one here. Inhale up, baby cobra. And exhale, lowering back down. Inhale, tuck the toes under. Lift the knees off the ground. Make your way back to plank. And exhale back, downward facing dog. And then just walking your feet up to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Keeping your feet hip distance apart. Releasing your head and neck down towards the ground. And just taking opposite elbows for a little ragdoll here. Slight micro bend in the knees. Maybe swaying side to side. Really releasing through the neck. And then releasing the hands down to the ground. And then rolling up vertebra by vertebra, giving that slight bend in the knees all the way up into our mountain pose, Tadasana. So our palms are facing forward. We're going to bring our big toes to touch and our heels slightly apart. And as always, we're going to take one modified version and then one full version. But of course, you can always take two modified versions or two full versions. Your body, your choice. Inhale, reach the arms up, overhead, bring hands together. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to plank. Inhale, lower the knees down, untuck the back toes. Then exhale, lowering all the way down onto your belly. Inhale up, baby cobra, chest, head and neck off the ground. And exhale, lowering back down. Inhale, tuck the toes under, make your way back to plank. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. One more. And the bottom of that exhale, gonna hop, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up all the way up to standing. Hands come together above your head. And exhale, hands to heart. One more. Inhale, reach up, look up, hands together. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, plant your hands down. Step or jumping back straight through Chaturanga Dandasana or going down onto your belly. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. And exhale back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. 2 breaths. Last breath. Inhale, right leg up and back. Then exhale, knee to nose, curling in. Inhale, right leg up and back. Then exhale, stepping it between your hands. Heel toe that right foot out to the right a little bit. Then ground down through that back foot at about 45-degree angle. And then inhale, coming up into your warrior one here. So front knee stacked over front ankle. And back foot is at about 45-degree angle to the side of your mat. Arms are high to the sky. Sinking a little deeper on your exhale. Then interlacing the hands behind your back. Rolling your shoulder blades together. Expanding your heart and chest towards the sky. Then exhale, fold, humble warrior, releasing your head and neck down towards the ground. You can either rest your chest on that right leg, or you can release it onto the inner side of that right leg. One more breath here. And then release the hands down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen through that spine, straighten the front leg. And then exhale, fold. And if your hands don't quite reach the ground here, you can always keep them at your hips. Or we can use blocks or cans of lentils or whatever you have in your stockpile of fun things. One more breath. On the next inhale, step that left foot up to meet the right at the top of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down. Step or jumping back straight through Chaturanga Dandasana, lowering down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up and back. And exhale, knee to nose, curling in. Inhale, left leg up and back. And exhale, stepping that left foot between the hands. Maybe heel toeing it out to the left a little bit, then grounding down through that right foot at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, coming up, warrior one. And just notice if your hips aren't quite facing forward as much as you'd like, bring your hands to your hips and maybe use that to help you rotate those hips forward. But then make sure that you're still grinding down through the outer edge of that back foot. Arms are high. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulder blades together. Taking your gaze up, expanding through the heart and the chest towards the sky. And then exhale, fold, humble warrior. And once again, you can be resting that sternum on top of your left thigh and knee, or it can be on the inside. Releasing through the neck. And then bring the hands down to the ground, or your lentils, or keeping them at your hips. Gonna lengthen through the spine, straighten that front leg. And then exhale, fold, pyramid pose. And just notice here if your left hip is popping out, think about wrapping that left hip back. One more breath. Just stepping that right foot up to meet the left at the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down. Step or jumping back through Chaturanga Dandasana, lowering down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Now we're just going to go through that one breath, one movement here. So inhale the right leg up and back. Then exhale, knee to nose, curl it in. Inhale, right leg up and back. And exhale, step that right foot in between the hands, grounding down that back foot. Inhale up, warrior one. And exhale, interlace the hands behind your back, roll the shoulder blades together. Inhale, expand the heart and chest to the sky. And exhale, fold, humble warrior. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, fold, pyramid pose. Inhale, left foot meets right at the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, step or jumping back through Chaturanga Dandasana, lowering down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog, left side. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, curl it in. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, step that left foot between the hands, ground down through that back heel. Inhale up, warrior one. And exhale, interlace the hands behind the back, shoulder blades together. Inhale, expand the heart and chest. And exhale, fold, humble warrior. Inhale, release the hands, straighten the front leg. And then exhale, fold, pyramid pose. Inhale, right foot meets left at the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or jumping back through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog, last time here. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, curl it in. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, step that right foot between your hands, ground down that back foot. Inhale up, warrior one. Exhale, interlace your hands, roll the shoulder blades together. Inhale, expand heart and chest. Then exhale, fold, humble warrior. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, straighten that front leg. And exhale, fold, pyramid pose. Inhale, step left foot up to meet right. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, step or jumping back through Chaturanga Dandasana, lowering down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back, down dog, last round here. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, step it between your hands, grounding down through that back foot. Inhale up, warrior one. And exhale, interlace your hands, roll those shoulder blades together. Inhale, expand the heart and chest to the sky. And exhale, fold, humble warrior. Inhale, release the hands and straighten the front leg. And exhale, fold, pyramid pose. Inhale, right foot meets left at the top of the mat. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, stepping or jumping back through Chaturanga Dandasana, lowering down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. And just taking a few breaths here. Maybe shaking out through the neck. If you need to take child's pose, of course you can rest in child's pose. And then when you're ready, just hopping through and coming down onto your back for a few little back bends here. So you're bending through your knees. The soles of your feet are on the ground about hip distance apart, and they're up as close to your butt cheeks as you can get them. Palms are planted down on the ground. And we're just going to roll up, starting from the low back, the mid back, and the upper back, rolling that spine off the ground. You can stay here if you want to take this a little further. You can interlace those hands like we did in Humble Warrior, rolling onto the outer edges of your shoulders. Imagine you're reaching your hands for your feet. Really grounding down through those feet, lifting up through the outer hips. One more breath here. Then exhale, lowering back down just as slow as you came up. Heel toe your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees knock together in the middle. Just take a few breaths here to release through the lower back. Heel to those feet back to hip distance apart. grounding down through the palms, and then just rolling up vertebra by vertebra all the way up into your bridge pose. You can choose to keep your palms on the ground or interlace them the opposite way, so opposite thumb on top. And you can choose to stay here if you want to take this a little deeper. I want you to ground down through that left foot and take the right knee to the sky. So a little fun balance here. You can keep that knee bent, or you can try straightening through that leg. And then when you're ready, bring that right heel down. Inhaling the hips a little higher, grounding down through that right foot. And then bending through that left knee, lifting the foot off the ground. And of course, you can try straightening that left leg. And then ready, bringing the sole of the foot down to the ground. Inhale the hips a little higher. And exhale, release the hands, lowering all the way down onto your back. This time taking our knees wide and the soles of our feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana here. Bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And just taking a few breaths. And when you're ready, drawing your knees back together. And then just gently rocking up and down your mat and making your way back into your downward facing dog. We're going to inhale that right leg up and back. And exhale, step it outside that right hand, lowering that back knee down to the ground for lizard pose here. So you can choose to stay here on your hands, or you can always come down onto your elbows if your hips are feeling open enough. Maybe try rocking onto the outer edge of that right foot. If you want to stay here, if this feels great for you, then just enjoy this stretch. If you want to also add on the quad stretch, you're going to ground down through that left hand, then reach that right arm up and back, bend through that back leg and catch a hold of that back foot. Really make sure you're still expanding the heart and chest towards the sky. This is a twist as well as a deep hip and quad stretch. Bring that heel towards your glute. One more breath. And then exhale, releasing it down gently. Bring your right hand back down to the ground. Tucking the back toes under, lift the back knee, and then just bring that knee and chin down to the ground, straight into your half pigeon here. You might want to tuck the toes under and shift that back knee back a little bit. And then choose to stay here up on your hands. Come down onto your elbows. Or release right into sleeping pigeon. Bring your forehead down to the ground. We're just going to be here for just a few breaths. So really allowing your body to melt. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw. And just release it. And gently walking your hands back underneath your shoulders. Tuck the back toes under. Lift that back knee. And then just step straight back into your downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up and back. And exhale, step it outside that left hand. Lower the back knee down. So we're in our lizard pose here again. And just notice that this side might feel completely different. So on the other side, you might have been able to come down onto your elbows, but this side just might not be accessible for you to do that. Maybe rock onto the outer edge of that left foot. And then, of course, you can stay here if you want to add in the quad stretch. Twisted monkey, just reaching that left hand up and back, bending through the back knee, and just taking hold of that foot. Just know that this is still a twist as well as a quad and hip stretch. So just think about rotating that right lung up towards the sky. And releasing through that back foot. Playing that left hand on the ground. Tuck the back toes under, lift that back knee. And just coming straight into your half pigeon here with that left knee behind that left wrist. And obviously you can stay here up on your hands, or you can make your way to your elbows. If you're feeling A little bit more open your hips today. You can slide all the way into a little sleeping pigeon here with your forehead on the ground, your hands reaching out in front of you. And walking your hands back in underneath your shoulders. Tuck those back toes under, lift the back knee, and stepping back into your down dog. And this is your last down dog of the day, so just take any movements that your body may need here. And when you're ready, just coming straight through onto your back. We're gonna do just a little supine twist here. So lengthen out through the left leg, draw the right knee into the chest. Take the right arm out to a T, and then just using the left hand, guide that right knee over to the left. You can take your gaze out over that right arm. And inhaling back through center, giving that right knee a little squeeze into your chest, and then lengthening it long on your mat. Inhale the left knee to your chest, take that left arm out to a T, bring the right hand to the outer side of that left knee, and then just guiding that right knee down over to the right hand side. Maybe taking your gaze out over the left arm. And drawing that knee back through center, hugging both your knees in, taking your hands around outer edges of your feet for happy baby here. So drawing the knees down towards your armpits, down towards the ground. Maybe rock side to side, releasing through the inner thighs. And then give yourself a big hug, wrapping your arms around your shins, drawing your nose towards your knees. Inhale, one deep breath in. And then exhale, releasing down into your Shavasana, letting your ankles splay wide, your palms are facing up. Just taking a few minutes here to rest. Just know that I'll call you out of Shavasana when it's time. Just gently bring your awareness back to your breath. Bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. Maybe circling the wrists and the ankles. You can stay here as long as you need, but if you're ready, just gently drawing your knees into your chest. And then letting your body fall to one side, using one of your arms as a pillow. And then just making your way up to a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes closed down. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. It's coming back to the intention you set at the start of class. I am worthy is the mantra that we were using. I honor the place inside you in which the entire universe dwells. It is a place of peace and love and truth and happiness. And when you're in that place in you, and I'm in that place in me, we are one. Namaste.